welcome to another thrilling 32 Throwdown. Today, we've got a matchup of two Final Four contenders in the wood bracket. We've got Phoenix from Knoebels Amusement Resort in Elysburg, Pennsylvania, going up against Mystic Timbers from Kings Island there in Mason, Ohio. Andy, these are both rides that have been in the Final Four before. Mystic Timbers was a Final Four ride last year. Phoenix has been a Final Four ride before. This, by far, is going to be one of the most difficult matchups in the entire tournament, and it comes here in the first round. I mean, Phoenix, built in 1985 at Knoebels, obviously relocated from San Antonio's Playland. It's originally a PTC creation. It has ranked in the top 5 before. It's been number 5 a couple of times. It's only ever been as low as number 8, so always in the top 10. Just an 8-6 record overall, though. Phoenix has historically had some tough matchups in the thrilling 32 brackets, despite its high ranking, and it's got another tough one here this year. So only 8-6 all time in the thrilling 32. Mystic Timbers, obviously new last year, its first year, built in 2017 by GCI, ranked number 6 last year overall. So that's the only ranking we have, and it went 3-1 last year, obviously making it to the Final Four. Won 3 games before being eliminated by, I think, Voyage in the Final Four. So you've got an old-time favorite, you've got a new school favorite. Both are probably expected to be in the top 10 given this history. And what do you think?
Well, I'll tell you what. We talk a lot of hyperbole, through these different throwdowns, talking about, ride experiences. But here's a matchup that, looking purely at the numbers, that you really can't tell what's going to happen here. Because Mystic Timbers...
I think this is the first matchup we've talked about here where the numbers do not definitively tell you the safe bet is one ride or the other.
Well, and the issue here is Mystic Timbers was number 6 last year. And so, you would say on paper, is that ride going to drop? Is it going to stay the same? Phoenix has always been between 5 and 8, so that ranking is always pretty solid right there. So it's going to be in that range. And I think the question you have to ask yourself when you're filling out this bracket is Mystic Timbers going to suffer the same fate as other rides inside Kings Island, like Banshee, where Banshee not even in the Thrilling 32, but used to be very highly ranked in the Thrilling 32, and has fallen out of favor quite quickly. Now, that may be a product of Banshee. I don't know. A lot of people like Mystic Timbers.
But Mystic Timbers is a top 10 wood coaster for a lot of people. I don't know that Banshee was a top 10 steel coaster like Mystic Timbers is a wood coaster. I mean, Mystic Timbers is going to be sticking around a while here.
Like Mystic Timbers is in my top 5. You have it pretty highly too.
Top 10 for me.
So Mystic Timbers, a lot of people have it in their top rankings. But is that 6 legit? Are we going to see a drop-off this year with Mystic Timbers like we've seen other rides, or is it going to have staying power? Was that the number, like things like Fury 325 came in at number 1 and stayed at, number 1, and has been highly ranked for these different polls throughout the years. That you don't see a drop-off there is my point. So I think that's the thing you have to struggle with. And when you look at ride experiences, Phoenix, to me, has some boring parts in it. Like, it's not – I've never found Phoenix to be a complete ride. The stuff that Phoenix does well, it does really well. The stuff that Phoenix does elsewhere outside of that, it does pretty good. So it's not like a ride that's like, oh, my God, this is exciting start to finish. Mystic Timbers, for me, is a ride that is exciting start to finish. I have Mystic Timbers ranked higher than Phoenix. I do.
And people know that I'm a big Phoenix fan. I mean, Phoenix is a top 3 coaster for me, on the wood side of things. I've always been a huge Phoenix fan. Phoenix has some of the best airtime in the world.
Yes.
It's now the thing with Phoenix.
But that's only at the end of the ride. That's the thing, is that airtime is only at the end of the ride.
They're 2 very different ride experiences because Mystic Timbers is all about speed. It's got airtime mixed in. It's got laterals mixed in. It's very, very fast and agile, whereas Phoenix is very much, Mystic Timbers is the speed ride. Phoenix is very much the classic wood coaster where it says, okay, we're going to go out. We're going to have airtime on the way out. We're going to turn around. We're going to come back. We're going to give you airtime. Then we're going to turn around again. We're going to do airtime. Then we're going to turn around. Then we're going to do airtime. And then we're coming home. And it's got the tunnel mixed in there. If you go during Phoenix Fall Fun Fest, then you get the full Phoenix experience. You get the fog mixed in there too. You get the lights out. You get the extra grease on the wheels and all that, all that fun stuff. But at the end of the day, it really comes down to what ride experience was going to be favored a little bit more over the other. And personally, if I'm filling out a bracket, here's my strategy. You see that Phoenix has been as high as number 5, as low as number 8. I would say I'm going to assume Phoenix finishes number 6 because that's where Mystic Timbers was last year. So I'm going to assume Phoenix finishes number 6. So now the only decision I have to make is, did Mystic Timbers move up or did it move down? I'm going to assume that Mystic Timbers does not stay at number 6, and then that's where Phoenix is. So now I have to think, does Mystic Timbers move up or does it move down? And generally speaking, I can think of 3 rides that I can pencil in that are above Mystic Timbers. I can think of at least 3. Personally, myself, I can think of maybe 2 more that I can think of. Okay? So I can think of 4 rides, 3 rides for sure that I'm penciling in above Mystic Timbers. I can think of a 4th one that might be there and a 5th one that might be there. So then I'm asking myself, does Mystic Timbers fit in to one of those 5 rides above it?
Danny, I don't know what you just said. It sounded like you were using Scott Steiner math there. I don't know.
No, okay. So let's spell it out for the people who don't know what I'm saying. I probably know that Voyage, El Toro, and Lightning Rod are going to be, in the top 5.
Yeah.
If you go off the numbers, if you're going off the numbers, that's where those 3 will be in the top 5. I can also think of Boulder Dash, who's always been in the top 4. And I can think of Outlaw Run that, aside from 1 year where it was number 8, has always been in the top 5. So the question is, if you're going to put Mystic Timbers above number 6 in the top 5, you need one of those 5 rides to fall out, at least. And that's if nothing else moves up into the top 5, is the other thing. So do you think that at least one between Outlaw Run and Boulder Dash can fall to below number 6? If the answer to that question is yes, then I think you go with Mystic Timbers. If the answer to that question is no, maybe Phoenix is your better bet here.
Okay.
I've thoroughly confused Andy. He's not smart enough to understand the engineering.
No, it's because you're starting with the supposition that Phoenix is going to be 6, and I don't know if that's...
Do you have a better assumption to make?
You're also saying that Boulder Dash is better than all these rides, which I don't...
But again, that's the question you're trying to answer.
I don't know. You and your Scott Steiner math.
Well, okay, so Mystic Timbers was number 6 last year.
This should be your bonus question. Figure out this math.
Well, Mystic Timbers was number 6 last year. The 5 rides that ranked above it were Voyage, El Toro, Lightning Rod, Boulder Dash, and Outlaw Run.
Yeah.
Does at least one of those 5 rides drop below it and allow Mystic Timbers to slide up above it?
No.
Okay. Well, then I'd be picking Phoenix. If that's the answer, I'd be picking Phoenix.
I don't know how you arrived at that conclusion.
Because Phoenix is the better ride, and I rank it higher than Mystic Timbers.
Because Mystic Timbers can be 6, and Phoenix can still be 7.
I understand that, but again, I'm trying to make life easy, and I understand I'm not making this any easier for anyone. So my final word of advice, people: flip a coin.
Flip a coin, or just assume that Scott Steiner's going to win the match. That's
yeah.
Scott Steiner's going to win the match. So,
oh boy, this was a good one. This is a good one.
So, as always, I'm Andrew Barczyk from Chicago, Illinois,
and I'm Danny Miller, thinking way too hard from Binghamton, New York.
Right on, right, Warriors.
Good luck, guys. My God.